we have the one and only Miss Cheryl Ketchens giving us a story today. And she's working on the Advanced Communication Series manuals. And today, Cheryl is going to hone in on emotions. And the most beautiful thing about emotions is that we've got them going on all the time. There's fear, hurt, anger, joy, sadness, and those are the 5 primaries. And so often we glaze over our emotions to get through, and if we're numbing out when we get home because we're playing with our wang doodles, or we're having a good time and being joyful because we're at the holiday party, or maybe we didn't go to the holiday party because we were too scared inside. These are all emotions that are happening, and one of the things that we can do as leaders is to grow ourselves up, parent ourselves, and learn to identify these emotions and develop coping strategies to get through so that we can move those next levels and become these strong individuals that we are. Cheryl's going to teach us a little story about a time when she was in grade school and she faced a bully. I don't know about you, but I'm facing bullies every day, and sometimes the biggest bully is just Joy herself. And you know, bullies got a. She's such a bully. I know, that's sister of mine. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our speaker today, Miss Cheryl Ketchens, and she's giving us a speech called Cheryl and the Bully. Please help me welcome Cheryl Ketchens. Thank you.
This small little gal, small stature, sat in her seat, attentively looking up at the teacher at the chalkboard as she was doing the lesson for the day, when suddenly she overheard a conversation that gave her reason to be afraid. One of the boys in the classroom, Philip, who was a bully, approached the girl who was the bully of the girls, and he tapped her on the back while Mrs. Whitaker's at the front of the class. She's still writing on the chalkboard, unaware of any of this that's going on. And Philip taps Amanda. He says, and he whispers, "When are you going to get Cheryl? And Wilma, don't forget Wilma, her cousin Wilma." And Amanda turns her head and she's like, "What are you talking about?" He says, "You know what I'm talking about. When are you going to beat him up?" So all of a sudden I started trembling in my seat. And again, I'm a small girl. Amanda, very, very tall. She was the tallest kid in the classroom. She was taller than all the boys, all the girls. I was real short. I had a nickname, Cheryl Short. Oh, I'm like, Amanda, this tall girl with ebony black skin, her teeth so white, pearly white. Yeah. What was I going to do? She's going to get me. She's going to get Wilma. So Wilma and I, we came up with a plan after class. We said, let's stay and clean off the desktops. Let's clean off the chalkboard. Let's clean everything in this room that we could possibly clean. So Wilma and I, we asked the teacher. Mrs. Whitaker said, yes, you girls can stay and clean up the chalkboards. But as soon as you're done, I want you to leave. So when she went and got, Mrs. Whitaker went and got a little pail for us and a little washcloth. We washed down those desks. We kept washing and washing and washing. And all the time we know that Amanda's probably outside waiting for us. We were washing and washing. We got to the chalkboard. We were just cleaning that off and cleaning that off. And again, then Mrs. Whitaker says, girls, it's time for you guys to go home. And I'm like, oh, go home? We can't go home. And we looked out the window where the crowd had gathered. Amanda standing in the middle, and the pack is going, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him. So we go down the stairs, get outside. They ask Amanda, Philip goes, which one are you going to grab first? Amanda's like, I don't know. There's a nearby rose bush with its thorns on it. Wilma's standing near the thorny rose bush. All of a sudden, Amanda decides she's going to get Wilma first. So she goes over to Wilma, and she starts to punch. Then she shoves her. Wilma falls into the thorny rose bush with the pink roses on it. Cheryl, in the meantime, sees the tears, and she lets out a wail, and Cheryl sees the tears streaming down her face. What do? I book. I run for home. I run, and I run, and I run, and Amanda is in hot pursuit because the gang has told her, Cheryl's getting away, don't let her get away. I run, and I run, and I get to my house, and I'm panting, and I rush up the stairs, and my mom's shouting to me, what's going on? And I said, this is pure Wayne Doodle. Why is this girl chasing me? I haven't done anything to her. So I get upstairs, and I go into my bedroom, and the white frame window with the old latch with the tongue on it, I unlatch that, and I raise the window. Amanda's standing out there in my side yard, and I look at her, and I'm going, nah, 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 nah. You didn't get me, nah, 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 nah. And she's like, tomorrow, just wait, tomorrow I'm going to get you. You're going to pay. I go back downstairs. My mom said, what was all that about? What are you running up the stairs like that for? And I told her the story about Amanda deciding that she was going to bully Wilma and I, and she's going to beat us up. She got Wilma first. I got away. So I was real smug and just like happy. Oh, I got away with that. Dad comes home. Mom tells him, oh, Cheryl ran home today from school. I could hear her in the kitchen whispering to her, Cheryl ran home today. What are you going to do about it? So he comes and he says, hi. And he gives his warm greeting like usual. Hi, Cheryl, how was your day? I'm like, oh, it was good, Dad, it was good. I said, oh, interesting. Mom says differently. I understand that you ran home today. What was that all about? So I tell him the story about Amanda and her bullying Wilma and I. And he says, get your little coat, let's go. And I'm like, where are we going? He said, we're going to Amanda's house. And Mom in tow, we get in Dad's blue truck with myself in the center and Mom and Dad on either side, and Dad driving. We get to Amanda's house. We climb the cement stairs up to the old white house with the black trim. The Johnsons, Dad knocks at the door, the Johnsons greet us. What can I do to help you, Mr. Long? Well, I'd like to talk to you about my daughter. So we go inside the home. My dad tells a story to the Johnsons about what their daughter had done. Well, they just, well, we teach our kids to fight for themselves. And Dad says, well, we don't teach our kids to fight. We teach them not to start a fight, but if they have to defend themselves, your daughter is picking. And that's totally different. So they decided the Johnsons are just going to laugh it off. We go back home, and Dad sits down, and he says, listen, you are not going to run from any bullies ever again. If you allow that one time, this will always continue. So we sat down, and I said, well, she's so tall, and she's just so tall, and those pearly white teeth, and, you know, with the ebony black skin, and she's very scary looking. And so Dad says, I don't care about that. You are going to fight for yourself. So I'm like, but I'm down here, and I'm so, he said, that's a perfect place to be. You're down there, she's got a bread basket. And I'm going, Amanda's got a bread basket? Where is it? He goes, right here. You're down here, she's up there, you can work this area right down here. So he showed me some moves. You know, he said he had me punch him in the stomach, punching him like, Dad, I don't want to punch you. Punch, come on, punch me as hard as you can. So I'm punching. The next day, I get to school. With my newfound courage, Amanda's waiting for me. We're in the coat room, and she has placed someone else's coat on my assigned hook. And I'm like, Amanda, I said, that's my book. She said, what are you going to do about it? I said, well, I have to move it. So I moved it. And then Amanda comes towards me, and she starts to shove. Then I remember Dad saying, she's got a bread basket. Hit her in the bread basket. So I give whoop, whoop, right down here in the center of her stomach, the corpus. I felt so good. Amanda looks at me like, she fought back? I cannot believe this. She never bothered me again. So I get to junior high, and when I get to junior high, what do? I go off for track. I was one of the fastest runners on my team, because all I had to do is think about Amanda coming down. Thank you.